Alright guys, so it's a quick video for anyone that doesn't have a kind of determined model with quarterly theory or a kind of have a lot of ambiguity about how to apply quarterly theory to the live charts and to catch trades. So essentially the model that I think the majority of people use um, in this mentorship, or at least the model that I use, is simply a minimum of two stages of cracks and correlations, or SMT, followed by an entry model. So what I mean by this is we have a high time frame sequential SMT, followed by a lower time frame sequential SMT, which is in line with the high time frame one. So what it's doing is confirming the high time frame one, pinpointing when the high time frame sequential SMT will come into effect. And then after that, we have our entry model. In terms of what counts as a higher time frame sequential SMT, we will be using the monthly cycle or the weekly cycle. And so remember, we use the 4-hour time frame for the monthly cycle and the 1-hour time frame for the weekly cycle. Following that, we can either have a daily cycle or 90-minute cycle sequential SMT to confirm the higher time frame sequential SMT. So there's essentially 4 combinations that we can have. We can have a monthly cycle sequential SMT followed by a daily cycle, monthly cycle followed by a 90-minute, weekly cycle followed by a daily cycle, or weekly cycle followed by 90-minute. And then once we have these 2 stages of SMTs, that's where we can look to have our entry. Now I've got some examples here. So first, it's an example of today, the 27th of November. So on NQ, here we have previous day high being marked out. And on ES, we have previous day high being marked out. We have ES trading above, NQ trading below. This is a weekly cycle sequential SMT. That's stage 1. So in this example, it's this bottom one. After that, we move to the lower time frame to look for a sequential SMT in line with this one, confirming it. So here, above we have NQ, and I've marked out the London high. And I've done the same for the Dow, for YM here. And you can see that YM is trading above quite clearly. However, NQ has a failure swing. And this is that second stage. This is our daily cycle sequential SMT. So this is the one-shot, one-kill model, where we have a weekly cycle sequential SMT followed by a daily cycle sequential SMT. And it's after that, that is when we have our move down. And you can see that here on the higher time frame. So that's essentially the model. Entry, in terms of entry models, we can use whatever you want. I personally, I think many of you know, I like my 1-minute precision swing points, but I don't really recommend that. I'd say for most people, just stick with your usual PD arrays, your 2022 entry model, so the market structure shift fair value gap, or an inversion fair value gap, or even like a unicorn entry, which is your breaker and fair value gap. It's completely up to you how you decide to enter, but the most important thing is that we have the higher time frame sequential SMT followed by the lower time frame sequential SMT. And we have at least one of these 4 combinations before looking to take a trade intraday. So some additional rules. We'll only be looking to trade on Monday when there is SMT with the previous Friday. So that means is that we'll have a high time frame sequential SMT. If we have no sequential SMT between Friday and Monday, we won't be expecting an expansive day, and therefore we'll just step away from the charts and it'll be a no trade day. The second rule is we focus on 9 to 10:30 a.m. This is going to get rid of a lot of noise and unnecessary losses before and after this time. Anything outside of this time window is going to help you gauge what's going to happen between that 9 to 10:30 a.m. time window. So anything happening in London session or Asia session is going to help you determine where price is going to move to during New York AM. And this is Q3 of New York AM. the more stages or cracks and correlations that we have, the higher probability that the setup's going to be. But we need a minimum of these two stages, a higher time frame sequential adjustment t followed by a lower time frame sequential adjustment t. And then of course we can have additional stages which is going to make it higher probability, such as our SMT fill, SMT with true opens, even SMT market structure shift, whole bunch of different kinds of cracks and correlations that we have. Precision swing points. This is optional, but I do recommend it. In this example, this candle here that I've got my cursor on was a 1 hour precision swing point. And you can see that is what led the move happening. So that's pretty much it for the model. Of course, there's some other smaller bits, but this is essentially the foundation of the model that I think we all should be using.